Hello, welcome to Engineering 230 class. Today I will show you how to get started in Autodesk Inventor. So basically I will show you chapter 1 part modeling. I will do it a little bit differently than it's done in the book, but hopefully you have two different ways how to do the same part. So I'll be logging in. So if you search Audio Move and you have here Audio Move at odu.edu, then you'll be asked to log in, and after you can either open Windows app or you can just log in from here. So make sure you access Audio Engineering Lab workspace. So when you log inside of that space, you need to submit your MyDesk information. So please remember, this is a virtual desktop. So basically, you would be logging into virtual server. So all the files you create, make sure you log into your Google Drive and upload your files every time you finish something. So for example, you can make a folder ENGT 230, and then you can make, module 1, module 2, module 3, module. So for example, if I say here, right click, and if I try to save something on the desktop, so if I say new folder, and if I say ENGT 230 work or something, so then, as you go, you save, and please have a habit. You can use Google Chrome to log into your Google Drive, and every time you finish modeling, make sure you upload. So you can also download Autodesk Inventor. So there's a free version. I provided a website over there in your syllabus. And you can also, but if you're using Move, this is how it works. And then make sure you notice if you're using Windows-based computer, there are two different places where you can actually see the bar on what you're working. So this is your own computer, the one outside, and the one inside, that's the one from the remote desktop. So make sure that you see, where you are and which one of these, so you access. So for example, if I want to start Inventor, I will need to click on the one that is on remote desktop. And sometimes you don't see the app, so you have to click on all. You see here, you say all. And then when you go to Autodesk Inventor, you can find it under over there. So it's Autodesk Inventor Professional English. And you wait a little bit. So, and then Inventor Professional 2024. So if you're a Mac user, you can use it through Audio Move. And if you're a Windows user, you can download your own version from Autodesk website. Just make sure you go to Autodesk Academic Free Student version, and then you need to use Audio Email to do that. So, and before you start, I posted a bunch of different videos where you can review how the interface works. So if you work with Autodesk, you probably saw this before. So you see, make sure you see this is the part that is above there. It's part when you have, so this is Inventor inside. It goes from here to here. Everything else is virtual desktop. So, we'll be working in this area here. So I'm just recording my screen because it's easier, to show you how you will also do the same thing. So we can create different kinds of files. I also posted information about that. You can make a new file from the list of templates. You can do assembly, drawing, part, or presentation. So basically, there are 4 different file types. And I will show you how to model your first part. And before we go there, also in the manage, you can also manage or edit your projects. It makes sense every time you start just to define where's your default folder, because you see right now it wants to save everything I'm making to users, public documents, Autodesk Inventor. But if you say browse, I can actually go to my desktop. But but this is my desktop from that computer that I'm accessing. So you see, I already created a folder on my desktop, so I can select that. So everything I will create from now on, it will be saved there. So maybe I can call this Z bracket. And then you can say ENGT 230, and then you can put your first and last name. So, every time I work and I open, you get your own grade. You don't get somebody else's grade. So you see, I will put that there. I'm sorry, I said open. I need to save project first. So I will save new single user project next. And then I browse on my desktop in Engineering 230. And then my first project will be this bracket that I'm working on. And I say finish. And now you see my default folder is going to my desktop in Engineering 230. It will be nice if you would back this up every time you finish. Okay, so all I wanted to show you in this first tutorial is to create a new part. And you just say new part, and we wait a little bit. And then I want to check, what are the units? So if I check the textbook, or if your textbook haven't arrived, you can see in the Google book preview. So you see now I'm trying to create a new part. So first thing I need to check what are the units. So I'll go to tools, I will go to document settings, and I will check my unit. So inches, that's okay, because you see this first part that I will model, it's made in inches, so I can leave it like this. And what I like to do, I like to go to application options. You see it's under tools, application options. Tools, application options, sketch. I like to turn maybe grid line, coordinate system indicator. You see, because when I go to the 2D, it will be very obvious when I'm in the 2D. If you don't like the colors you're using, you can also come here. You can check, change different styles. I don't know if you like some other color, you can leave it as default. Display, you also have various different, maybe just leave it as it is. Later you can see how you can customize. And if you like me and I don't see the window, sometimes you need to make it smaller, and then you will see okay. You see, for me, that's what's going on. So I say okay. So in this simple sketch that I want to create now, it's just a simple Z part. You see the one that comes with the book I'm showing on the camera here. And this is kind of symmetric part. So what you can do, you can click here. Before you even start, you can say File, Save As, and I will use this Z bracket ENGT 230 and my first and last name. And I'm going to create IPT file, which is Autodesk Inventor. So I'm saving. So you see now here in this model tree, you will see the name of my file. And if you go here, we can open this. Look, there's model states primary. You go to the view, isometric front top right, and the origin, you will see there are 3 hidden planes. If you want to show them, you can just go right click and say change visibility to these planes, and you will be able to see different planes. So for example, you see I'm showing them, this is Windows based software. So you see like this, or if I want to hide, I can just go shift from first to last, right click visibility. So you see they're there. So for example, if I want to do the Z bracket the way it is in the book, I'll pretty much select this XY plane and draw something there and extrude. That's how it's easy, because that's the dimension I've gotten. So, and I'll show you later, this is a home view, top, front, right. This is a cube where you orient everything, but until we have something drawn, it's easier to explain when we have it later. And then, so we have here 3D model. That's how I know that I'm in the right place in the part. I have sketch, I have annotate, inspect, tools, manage, view, environments, collaborate, fusion, and we will go slowly one by one. But I just want to show you the 3D model, which is in the part. And now say, you can pre-select XY plane, and then you can say, hey, I want to start a new sketch. And you see now I'm in the sketching mode. So I'm now going to see, so basically they show you here, you can try to follow steps in the book, or you can just try to draw this Z shape the way, basically, anyway, I'm just trying to see what kind of dimensions they gave you. Or, you can do it with various different ways. You can do line. You see under line, you have basically, you can do one line like this. You can make, that shape, and you can change later all these dimensions. You see, I'm just selecting. And if you're not sure if it's going 90 degrees, you can use Shift. It will make you a little bit better. You see there, and we can close like this, and we can later define, what are dimensions. So one way is just to use simple line, like I did right now, or if I go back, because this shape is very easy, you can just do rectangular shape. You can do another rectangular shape. And basically, you can trim, this part, that part, and then you can just draw a line from one side above. Look, I'll go a little bit above. Escape. So again, left click on the line. I go here until I see like this green thing, and then I can go down, and then I can just trim leftovers, you see, and align this. So, both way. So, and if I want to check, are these connected? I would just click on any of these points, and you see parametric modeling means I can easily, it's like a rubber band, I can go anywhere around and just select. So, whatever view you pick to draw the Z, do it. Whatever works better for you. So, and the thing is, what I really like to do before I start drawing the whole thing, look, and I can just select from left to right. If you select from left to right, everything in the rectangular shape is something you can delete. So look, like this one, I can delete that. But if you select from right to left, everything that you're touching is something you can delete, even if you didn't select the whole thing inside. So look, if I select, you see what's missing. So, there's difference if you select from left to right or right to left. So you see, I select everything and I want to delete that. So what I like to do actually, when I start drawing these, I like to draw one line that is accurate size, because it will be easier for me later, to figure out how this part is going to be. And here they really didn't pay attention where is the coordinate system indicator, but I like to use coordinate system indicator just because it's easier to dimension later. So you see, so let's learn how to do panning. So if you want to zoom in, zoom out, all you have to do is roll your middle mouse click. And if you want to do pan, you need to hold the middle mouse click. So you see, you can pan around. So the way I want to draw this part, I want to actually use a line command. And there's various options how you can start using this line command. So for example, if I want to do from 0, 0, you see from here, I can just click on my coordinate system indicator. If you don't see coordinate system indicator, you can go to Tools, Application Options, Sketch, and activate the coordinate system indicator here. Okay, so I go back to my model, I go back to my sketch. I'm still there. So if I'm in the sketch, I can do my line. You see that one? And I go here and I can go to the left and click anywhere. So you see, when it's purple, it means it's fully constrained, although the left point is not defined. So you see, it's kind of not really in the center, although it looked to me like I did it from the center. It's kind of not there. So, sometimes we need to fully constrain the sketch. So we will add dimension from the center to the coordinate system indicator, and we will know that that sketch is in the center. But at this time, it looks like it is, but it's not really. So when you draw the line for the first one, I'm sorry, for the first one, you can say precise input. You see, if I say 0, so if I do 0, like here, you see now it's 0, 0. And I go to the right, you can even type. So for example, if I type 2 inches, I'm just drawing something 2 inches and it will actually add me dimension immediately. So you see, I did 2 inches. So your drawing is 0.25. So, I can start line from here. And if I go up and I can just type 0.25, it will do dimension for me. You see, it's already done. Or later we can add dimension with this thing. So you see right there. And then they have another line. So I might turn off the grid just so you can see easier. So I'll go Tools, Application Options, Sketch, and I will turn off the grid lines. You see, now maybe it's easier for you to see what's going on. So I will draw another line that goes up from here. And now I will add dimension. You see, I click on Constrain Dimension. And this is 1.75. And if you do middle click twice, it will actually zoom in perfectly. And try to play with that. Middle click twice. Sometimes, we mess up the zoom. Middle click twice, it will give you back what you really have. And then you can make it a little bit smaller. And then I will add another line that is going to the left. And just check. Am I recording? Yeah, I am. Okay. And you see now I can just finish other lines because, once I have everything set, and for the last one, I can just put this escape in this line, and then later I can trim them. You see, I'm just going to the left. You see, they're not correct yet. So here I need to add dimension. Here, this is 0.25. I have here 1.75, and they have here this dimension 0.250. I don't have to type 0. And then I can trim. So there is an option trim. You see, it's like scissors. So you just cut what's left over. So you see the outside here. I don't need this part. I don't need this part. I trimmed that. And then you see, this is not really in coordinate system. So maybe I can show my x-axis. Let me see if I click on my x-axis and say visibility. And let me see, can I put, yeah, I can put dimension. I can put that this is 0. And I can also show my y-axis. I can say y-axis, right, escape, right axis, visibility, and I can add dimension that I'm from that axis 0, 0. So, now I know this is in coordinate system, and you see how it's black. When it's black, I know it's fully constrained, so I don't need anything else to define. I cannot move. Rubber stretch is gone. Now this part is fully constrained, and I use the picture that you have on 117. So I just draw what I saw on this picture in your book on 117. So you see, in this way, I show you what it means to have a fully constrained sketch when you see it becomes black. I show you also how you can hide and show some of the things. So now I can maybe say, okay, I don't need to see it anymore. So I can go back to my y-axis. You see in the tree, I can select and say visibility, X visibility. So you see this yellow is still there, but I can hide this, and I can convert to construction because it made me this extra yellow line, which is just helping me. So I will convert that to construction, so I only have a model. So basically, this is your Z shape, and the reason I selected that, so look, now use the shift and middle mouse key, or use the cube here. You know, if you move this around, you might see, and if you get like if you don't know what to do, you can click on the house, or you can go to top view. You see, this is what you see in the top view, or you click on these triangles. You can see you can get to the place where you want. And if you work on a laptop, sometimes you don't have a mouse, you can click here on the pen, you can click here on the zoom. You see this thing, you can try orbit 3D view, and you know, you can try some of these different, and or you can go back to the home, click to the front. As long as you know in which plane you're working, you will have more information. So I'm right now at the page 118. I already have my drawing, it's done. If I do shift middle mouse click, or I click on the house, you will see I'm already in 3D, and all I have to do, I have to extrude this. So actually what they wanted you to do, so I would just say finish. I'm done with my drawing. And you see the first create three-dimensional feature is called extrude. So this is extrude, and they want you to do 1 inch. And you see there's different ways, one direction, second direction. I want to have it symmetrical. So you see, if I click the third one, I will have it symmetrical around medium axis. And then you type 1 inch, and basically that's it. I made my first solid part. So I'm at the page 119. Then they wanted to show you how you can do fillet option. So you see they're part of modify. So if you go here, fillet, they will ask you what edge do you want to do. So, you know, if I click on the one you see on the page 121, I'm putting the trim, and they're saying move the cursor to the left edge of the part. And you can also do on the other side. You see default value is, and they maybe I can do here, shift middle mouse key, click. I can also go to the other side over there. And also they want that value to be 0.5. So I'm just clicking here, 4 edges are selected, 0.5, because my part is in inches. I can put inches. If you do it will actually give you in millimeters. So make sure it's inches. So you see, when it's inch, that's what I have. So far I have this part. And if I want to show you why I did it this way, look, if I turn on the visibility of the middle plane, you see basically I made it symmetric around that plane, just for fun, to show you what do we do when we have symmetrical features. You know, that wasn't necessary. I just want to introduce a little bit more. So here they also want you to create a hole in extrude cut command to learn how to do that. So basically all I have to do, I will start the sketch, select a surface, in this case this one, and for that hole you can do it in many different ways. You know, I can say, hey, maybe I would like to use one of my existing geometries, and maybe I say project geometry, and you see I want to use the shape of this circle. So you see, it gave me a point there. And then I will just say, I mean, before I create circle, I can select this and I can say, hey, I would like to have this construction. So you see, if I switch to construction, I'm not going to extrude that line. That's just there to help me constrain something that I'm making. So you see, in this case, I'm making a circle, and all they want me is to create circle, which is 0.5. So dimension, there are two different ways. You can either dimension diameter like this, you know, default it's diameter, or you can say right click and dimension type radius. So you see, if I switch to radius, I mean, I will keep the diameter because that's just what they're telling me, 0.5. You can type in inches, but I know that I switched to inches, so I don't have to do that. I'm just doing 0.5. So you see, in this way, shift middle mouse key, I can show you where I am. So I have a circle. I say finish. This is my 2D sketch. And again, I will do in this software, I'm saying extrude. And you see, I can add you see, you can add material. there, or you can switch here. You see Boolean output. You can go here to cut, right here, cut. And how do you know when you finished? You see there's different distance, but I can switch through all. So you see, I don't care how big is it. If I change something else, the hole will still go through. So I like to use, you see this cut distance A2. So just make sure you see these different ones. Stop share. So let me see. Somehow my screen got bigger here. So you see in this way, I just made a hole through. It says it has issues. So let me try one more time. So I would just say switch cut, and I can say through all. Okay, there you go. Sometimes, just start fresh. So basically, that's all up to page 27. And now they're saying, can you create a counter ball by using the whole command? So, this was one way how to make whole. The other one is to use the whole command. So you see, I'm clicking on the whole, and basically I will click, I want to make whole there. And it's asking me, what kind of hole do you want to make? And let me see, input geometry is, it's telling me there. So it's saying we want to do counter bore. So let me see. So, it doesn't really know where's the central point. So for me, I can use this two position, input geometry, and now, it's not positioned where I really want to have it. What I really like to do before I create a hole, I like to create axis. You see, I can make axis, and I can say, hey, can you make me axis there? So you see, now I have some kind of axis there. So if I do a hole and I want to make it on this plane, can I put an axis that is exactly to that point? Yeah, not yet. So maybe if I say project, yeah, hole. Maybe if I select this and I say hole, will it know that I want to put it in the center? Okay. Move the cursor in the middle left portion of the screen and left click on the point. And shown there, we have center marker. So they have counter bore. You go here basically, and then they want you to have these values 0.5. Here you put 0.125 and you have 0.25 for that counter bore. So that's basically there. But then if I don't like where the position is, you see, I can try to select where the position of that is. So if I go type, it looks like we need to define the point for the hole. So, the same way you put axis, we can also define point. And that point can be intersection of plane, surface, and a line. So I can say this plane and this line will give me this point. So I know exactly that that's where my hole will be. So then if I put the counter bore and, if I need to select the point, I have point to select. To me, that's safe to know exactly where I am. 0.5, 0.125, and the other one is staying. And that's it. So plane, I defined the plane. So now it's in the good positions because I did create a point in advance. So I know that will be good. So you see, this is my first part. And if I click on my home, I just, and if you want to hide your work point, you just go right click visibility. You see, I maybe made also an axis somewhere. You can try to find where's the axis, or just click on the axis and hide it. Visibility, right click, there you go. If you want to change the color, you have multiple, you can make this part golden if you want. You see, for example, here, you can select different materials. You see, for example, now it's gold. And if I go to gold, I can go right click to the bracket and I can go to iProperties. And if I go to physical, you will see if this is gold, and I can go update. You see, if I say update, mass of this part, you get the area, you get the volume, you get everything. So remember, mass is 0.82. What if I switch my gold to plastic or nylon or lead? So for example, now it's lead, right click, iProperties, this should be heavier than it was. So you see, I don't know, 0 point, now it's telling you some different, so, or you want to just change the color, you can make it any different color. So please change it to one of the other colors. So, you just play a little bit with that. Or if you don't want to change material, you can also click here and double click on the color and then double click on, you can get any kind of color in these color wheels. You can play and you can figure out how you can change different colors, just properties. So you see, I can make it any color. So let's say I put it, I don't know, maybe some like denim blue. You see, you have even other. So that's one. I will make it gold at the end. But if you don't like this view, you can also try to change visual style realistic. You can try shaded. You can try shaded with edges, for example, or you can do technical illustration and sketch illustration. So for example, I will leave this because I think it's more clear what I have. So make sure you save your part. You see I have it right now. If you want to save this as, you can save as different files. You can export as a PDF, and you can even try to export as 3D PDF. That's also another option. So you can save PDF in the same file, or you can export a picture, because sometimes you need that for your reports. Maybe try PNG, so you have that saved. And also today I would like to show you how you can create drawing out of this file. So you see, we finished our first one, so let's make an engineering drawing out of this. So I will say file, and you see I will leave this open. So I will say, can you please make me a new drawing? So now I'm going to another file type, and these two are related. Drawing without the part doesn't exist. So I will show you now what's associative drawing. So you see, I have a drawing. Maybe this is just too big. So I will right click, maybe edit definition. Let me see how I can change sheet size. So I go to sheet, edit sheet, and maybe change size to B. Leave landscape. For example, I would just leave whatever it is just to show you. So you see right now, so sheet, right click, edit sheet. That's how I changed the size. And what I want to do, I want to inside the sheet, you can have multiple sheets of your drawings. So ANSI large, I'll go right click, edit definition, and I'll zoom in. So you can even put logo of ODU here. So you see Old Dominion University is our company. This is our part number 1. We just did our first part, 01. Title, I don't know, let's call it Z bracket. Z bracket. You can put your name. Right now it has your Midas information. So put your first and last name. You're the person making this. So creation date, like today, I can put whatever date today I'm making this on May, cancel, 2025. So for example, you see right now I have that. So I say finish. Yes. So you see it looks more professional. It has information. Who is the person creating it? What is the date? What is the title, drawing number? And that's pretty much our institution. So we did the frame. So now here in the place views, you can say, okay, I first need the base. So if I take a look at the part, how it is, I will say, okay, can you please give me a base? And it give me idea of a base. You see like this. So it really matters how you oriented your part. I did it this way. If you don't like it, you can flip here until you get the orientation you like. So for example, I was cancel. I like the one I got, so I'll just redo it again. If you don't like the size, you can change the size. So you see here, scale is 1:1. If you put 2:2, you see it will be bigger. If you put whatever, it will be bigger. So I'll keep 1:1 just to see if it fits later. So this is my parent view. This would be the parent view to all other views. So you see, I would leave it like this. And this is telling me that I might need section view because, I actually want to see what is inside, how my whole really looks like. So I will just click here, delete that one. I think maybe it's better if I start with the other view. So I will maybe pick one other view to be my base. Maybe the one from the top. Yeah. So you see, I put my top view right here. Okay. And then I will do my projection view, but maybe I do my section view. That is projection. So you see, projected is very easy. You just left click on the view and you go there to the left. That's how you get your normal view. Create, right click, create. But if I want to show hidden lines, I will more select the other kind of view, which is section view, this one. So I will select left click on my view. You see when you see the frame, and it will tell me, and look, I will find the center of my circle and just go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right like this, and I will say continue, right click continue, and then I put it here. And in this way I'm getting engineering drawing. Like I can see what's inside, not just what's outside. And then I will add my third base view, cancel, and I'll say projected. I click on this one, and this would be a child of that existing view. So you see, this is how it will look. Create. So from a side, it actually looks like this. So, if you like what you're getting, you can start dimensioning it. Maybe it can be a little bit bigger. This was a parent view. So if I go there and maybe I try 2:1, okay. So you see, because I made all of them as projections, they actually connected. So let me see if I have a little bit space for that. Maybe it's a little bit crowded. I don't know what you guys think. Maybe it's crowded a little bit. And I'm not sure, do I need this one? So, if I don't need the third view, you can go Control Z, go back into the situation when you have more space, maybe like that. And you can also add another base and click on the house, and you can add a 3D view. So you see, I can move my 3D view there and show the part in 3D view. And also I can put, you see raster view. You see, I can click shaded, and it will show me shaded view. So it just just for fun. And please use good. So don't put this like that. That doesn't look good. It has to be equally distributed. You know, maybe this view, I don't know how much sense it makes from that side, but let's say, you know, I need some space for dimensions. So here I don't have too many dimensions, but anytime I have circles, first I need to add center. You see here under annotate, you will find center marks, and I can zoom in here wherever I have circles a little bit longer. You see like that. I added circles, and wherever I have my you see where I have holes, you can use this one called center line by sector, and if I click on the line on the left and the right, it will give me circles. You see both of these I have wherever you have holes, it's good to have a center line. And this view, really, I don't see it here, but I know I have center line. So, you know, I can just make it here, even though it's hidden, it's still there. I can put my whole line there because it's kind of a center line. It's a symmetric part, line of symmetry. So now all I have left is to dimension this part. So we always need to have 3 biggest dimension. So because if we need to make this, so it's always, you see, I selected dimension, I will zoom in this, and I can put, so just try to do from left to right. You see, I can, sometimes this is kind of tricky. So I do dimension, I do circle, circle, and I go down. You see, this will give me inside, but if I go right click, dimension type, snap settings, I don't know, it's giving me all of them. So, but I want to have outside, you know, well, I can put it in another view. Like, so let's do this here. 250. If you want to add geometrical dimensioning and tolerancing, you have that information here. We can play with that a little bit later. Or you can add here some information about something, you know. So for example, I can put this and I can type through, well, not in this dimension, in another one. Or I want this to be accurate dimension. I can put a frame around it or something. Oh, we'll see later. So that's one dimension. I want to have this other one. So you see, that will give me, and it's always the best if you can dimension circles where you actually see them as circles. So you see here I have a circle, and then use maybe around 30 degrees, 45, 30. So, you know, when you dimension circles, don't do like this kind of thing. So it's too close. Try to be somewhere in the middle, or if you have multiple ones, be at 30, 60 degrees. So you see they look like more neat. So you see I dimension what's outside the radius. I dimension the circle, and here I can also put my dimension. It's not symmetrical part, so I have to do it at multiple places. You see here I can put one and the middle one here. And then for other ones, I can dimension them in the other projection. So I have this one, I'm just putting some dimension there, so at least I have reason to have that dimension. And you see here, and you can move this section view, left click, you can put it on top of that, maybe like here. So I have more space. Left click, you can always move these dimensions, or you can put distance in between the holes here, you know, but we only need it once. We don't need to put the same dimension in multiple places. So you see, if I added it in the lower one, I maybe want to delete it from here. Right click, delete, it will help you with that. And you see, we can also maybe put here this dimension, and you can check what do you have in the, you know, when we were drawing this, most likely we need to know what is the counter bore depth. And if this is not enough precision, you can check primary units to 3. You know, this was 0.125, or you can click here, escape, right click, and you can say precision. You can do 3 here. and then it will show you 0 point, like here, look, right click, precision, there. So in that way. So what else? I have location, and maybe I need a size, all these thicknesses. I will add them there. And I want to have 3. Or, you can go to tools, document settings, sketch, let me see. No, it's under units. It's in application options, units, sketch. Where was the precision? Document settings, sketch, annotate. So yeah, when you do dimensions, I don't know why I forget now. Styles editor, I think it's here. So if I like to change dimension, so right now I'm using default ANSI style, and I want to use precision 3. This is where I will go. I will go to manage styles editor, dimension, default ANSI, precision, and I can change this to 3 so I don't have to click every time. So, now when I add a new dimension, it should give me, so I go back to annotate, dimension, and yeah, now it's 3. So, I don't have to select every time that I do that. And, based on this, you might see that this third one is not quite necessary. We probably can add this one there, but I'll just keep it there so you see how to add 3. So if you're done with this, you can save the drawing, and you can say file export as a PDF, and you can put here drawing 2D. This is engineering drawing. So I would like you in this course, raster state. If I double click, I can remove this raster view. I don't know why it was giving me some issues. So I'm saying export PDF 2D drawing, save. And if you can please submit, or if you can also save this as a picture, if you do export image, the more different backups you have, the better. So 2D, 2D drawing, engineering drawing. So you see, in this way, if I go back to my file, something on the desktop, I go to File the Explorer, and if I go to Desktop, I go to Engineering 230, you will see. So basically, this is my project. Inside, I have multiple files. This is my project file, and you see I made drawings. And if I want to show you view extra large icons, you see what you can see. You see I made pictures of this and exported pictures as well. So please, this is the first part from the first chapter, and I will create some videos of these different parts. Of first week, you have getting started, learning more basics, learning to create detailed drawing. And if you can please follow along and try to make this. And if you don't like how they're oriented, you can always move them, but make sure you remember which one was your first one that you did, because you need to move that first. You see these other ones follow along like this. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new. So please make sure after you finish, go to Google Drive so you can close and just say save changes. Yes, I want to save everything, make sure everything is there. I can close Inventor. I can close my engineering desktop. Right now everything is here, but before you leave or do you move, make sure please that you go to your Google Drive, log into your Google account or email yourself, but upload the whole folder. When you go to Google Drive, please do the folder upload and upload the folder with all your files. And when you submit this in Canvas, submit all the files. So I can access the PDFs if I give you any comments about maybe changing something. So, like for example, and I would like you to learn how to make engineering drawings, not just 3D model. So you see, this is basically engineering drawing. So now I can make you comments, I can draw, I can say, why did you put this there, you know, and then send it back to you. I mean, I'm just giving example. So thank you for watching, and I will be posting videos like this. I know it's async class, but you can stop and watch this anytime.